But I would love to talk to you about Doctor Who because we have quite a few Doctor Who followers.
Oh, right, lovely. Yes, well, I worked on 3 of the Doctor Who's, 2 with Tom Baker. So that's the Horns of Nimon, and then one called Full Circle, and then I worked on Ghostlight.
Okay.
3. Yes, they're the 3 that I worked on. Sylvester McCoy was his second Doctor.
Yeah.
So basically, by then, I got my full equity card, and I wasn't allowed to use my name, Cathy Munroe, because there was already someone with a similar name. So I had to pick a different name for my equity. This is where the confusions come in about people finding me, with the Star Wars sort of thing. That makes sense. So my equity name was Katy Jarrett. That's Katy, Katy, Jarrett. But if you go on my website and you look at my biography, it explains my journey, how all this came about.
Okay.
So, so I was now with an agent, and I had to audition at the BBC, BBC Centre, White City, and to just basically go along there, and that was for Horns of Nimon. And I got the part, and just sort of worked on that, and it was real fun. I mean, it was very cheaply made at the time, and you could probably see that by the sets.
Yes.
But we had to, the director used to scream at us, "Don't touch the walls," because when we'd be running down these corridors, and then if you touched the walls, all the set would wobble. So he used to shout at us, "Don't touch the sets." So we'd be running along, and then you'd have to stop, and then they'd turn the camera around, and then we'd have to run back down as though it was another corridor. Because obviously they didn't spend the money, so it looked as though we were running through endless corridors, but we weren't really,
Right.
And it was all really, it was quite. I mean, I thought it was awful when it first. I thought, oh God, this is just so tacky and cheap. Especially like I'd been on Star Wars. Can you imagine?
Yeah, right.
With
I
all
know.
the money, and money was no object, and fantastic sets. And then I'm going on Doctor Who, where there's no money, a real tight budget. And, and apparently the Horns of Nimon was voted one of the worst Doctor Who's ever. Someone told me. I don't know if it's true. I thought, typical. But then somebody said to me, "No, that's good, because it's so bad, the fans love it." I thought, well, I don't quite understand that really. But anyway. So, and then I remember Ghostlight. It's all set in Victorian England. That was with Sylvester McCoy, and I'm just amazed in it. You just see me coming down the stairs, and we have to leave before the night comes. So I'm ushered out with the housekeeper, and that's been a very small part in that. But really, the Horns of Nimon, I'm in it all the way through.
What was it?
But there's lots of, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying there's lots of photos. If you go on my website, there's loads of photographs of Doctor Who if you want to have a look.
Awesome.
And you'll see, so that might be quite interesting for you to do that, rather than me trying to explain it all, it's if you can visualize it yourself,
Who was, what was Tom Baker like?
Well, he was quirky. That's the word I'd use for Tom Baker. Not overly friendly, but I liked him. I liked him a lot, He was quite generous to actors. I think he was a very generous actor. Sometimes they're not, but he was. He was very kind, and he'd come up and say, "Oh, I think we should do it this way," and he was always in deep discussion with the director, and but he was a very good actor to work with. I liked him. I know a lot of people didn't. I know a lot of people found him a bit strange. He was quite deep, in thought, and, he wasn't naturally friendly, if that makes sense to you.
Sure.
But I liked him a lot. I had a lot of respect for him. I saw him in a film where he played Rasputin. I don't know if you saw that film.
No.
Alexander, the Russian Tsar.
Right.
Who was shot, and he played Rasputin, and he was absolutely brilliant. And I always remembered him in that. So I was so thrilled when I got to meet him and work with him. It was a great experience. So I was very lucky, really.
And what about Sylvester?
Yes, he was quite friendly. He's quite strange in lots of ways, you know. He had a very quirky personality. You know, he was quite funny. He made me laugh. I remember that. And yeah, very different than Tom. Completely different, opposite. So,
what do you?
You couldn't get more opposite, really.
Right. Why do you think that show became so popular when it did?
I haven't got a clue.
No.
I mean, I did watch it as a child growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I did, you know, John Pertwee, and I loved him as the Doctor. But I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why now. I suppose because of the new series.
Right. And
people like to look back, don't they?
Right, yeah. Are you watching the new series at all, or?
Yes, I do. I enjoy them. Yeah, when I can, you know, I do enjoy it. I think it's really good. I mean, it's like brilliant compared to back in the day. We're like the Dark Ages when we did it. It was just, I just think it's awful. You know, I mean, the sets are wobbling. You can see their people dressed up. You know, it just doesn't quite have the same effect. I think the fans love it, though. The fans seem to really love it. So.
Well, it sort of reminded me of, I mean, I can remember watching the earlier ones as a kid, too, and I was always sort of thrown aback by the fact that it was almost like shot on video. It had a video look to it, and it seemed like it was on the stage. Very strange.
That's true.
Very strange.
Yes, I mean, when you look at it now, you have to laugh. Well, I do. I mean, I can't help it. It just makes me laugh, you know. So, but it was fun. I mean, I was young, and it was a job, and I just thought, oh, you know, it was just great. You know, we all got on well together. I can't think of anything unpleasant.
Did you get?
You know, we all
did you get paid well for it?
Well, I was just on the equity minimum, you know,
right.
minimum, yeah. So it was all governed by that, and you know, got repeats and everything. So it wasn't too bad.
Nice.
Wasn't too bad.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite doctor of all?
Yes, Tom Baker. I think Tom Baker.